Welcome. Oh man, why aren't you in here? Where are you at? There you are, brother.
Yo, what's going on?
That was weird. All right, welcome everybody to Into the Splinterlands, the YGG SPL live podcast on Wednesday nights. My name is Roguepatton, and I'm joined tonight by our number one chatter, now pulled from text to face, Mr. Virus. How are you doing, sir?
Doing pretty good. How about you, man?
I am doing awesome. I was totally prepared to do this whole show by myself, but it sounds like I got you. Sounds like Tails is going to be on in a minute, so that'll make the show even better. But dude, how was your end of season?
My end of season was pretty good. I can't
Yeah?
complain. I mean, my during the season was actually a little bit better. I got some I got a couple double pulls of gold foil legendaries. So I had 2 days straight of 2 gold foil legendaries. So my end of season, I got some legendaries, but no gold foils there.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and take a peek at this. So this is our boy Virus. And so you got 153 champion chests and 54 diamond chests. That's a lot of chests.
Yeah. And this is my first time hitting champion 1 with the changes. So
dude, so you made it. So you're still in champion.
Yep.
How was that?
That's cool. I mean, I know that I don't know. It still feels good, even though they made the changes to lower the rating needed. But yeah, it feels good to be in champion still after the end of the season.
Yeah, you're part of. You're essentially the first line. You are a part of the first battle mages to ever start a season in champion. Congratulations.
Yeah, it feels good.
So, have you played a battle yet?
I have not yet. No. Still waiting.
I was talking to Mondroid about this too. I was like, dude, did you play a battle yet? He's like, no, I'm not playing any. He's like, I got champion chests for my dailies, so I'm just gonna go grind in my gold or like grind in another league to get champion chests but not lose a spot. I was like, what? I was like, what about the Clove account? And he's like, well, both of those are in champions, so yeah, sure. And so he played one. He only got 2 SPS for that win. Like, how much SPS were you getting at the end of last season per win in champion?
I thought it was around 4. Last I was looking, but
yeah, because Mondroid said the champion kind of, instead of ramping down because more players are getting there, it kind of ramps up. That was his theory, was that the pool doesn't start at 100%. I don't remember reading that anywhere, but I guess it would make sense based on the old rules, right? Nobody starts in champion, so it's not like first one there gets 100% of the pool for that day.
Yeah,
you know. But
yeah, I'll be interested to see tonight when I play some games to see what those rewards are.
Are you worried about so I know like this has to be like a big like a psychology change for all champion players, because the start of season has always been the rush to champion. Yep. But now that you're starting there, it almost seems like there's a hesitancy to move.
Yeah, I mean, when you're in Diamond, or when you're in your prior league, there's almost like nothing to lose. You can just kind of chill there, spend a few days, wait it out, and earn your chest. But when you're already in champ, you want to stay there,
right?
So, yeah, there's a little bit of hesitancy about. I guess that's why I'm waiting to the end of my day to get it going. Is I want to wait for some of those teams to kind of flow up a little bit, but I normally put against them anyway.
Damn. Awesome, brother. Well, congratulations on being there. You're gonna have to let us know how your first couple battles in champion.
Yeah,
kind of go. This will be the earliest that. This will be a very interesting season to see how the SPS payouts are in champion, with a bunch of people starting there and a bunch of people being that close, right?
Yep.
Like, be interesting. But yeah, anyway, so looking at your rewards here, that's one of my only complaints, is like the way that everything is ordered now. It used to be ordered based on value, But now that they can't assign a value, it's kind of scattered. But if I'm not missing anything, 6 gold foil legendaries last season. One,
Was
two,
it?
three, four,
Yeah,
five,
6. Yeah,
6.
6.
Oh, like you got 1, 2, 3. Like that's damn near all your gold foils.
Yeah.
That is nuts.
Yeah, a little bit lucky there.
Dude, that's amazing. Like of your others, did you even get any regular Oh my goodness, I don't see any Oh, there's one. There's a couple.
The top row, the Earth one.
Okay. I'm about to say, I was like, did you get any regular legendaries in here? Jeez.
Only gold foil.
Only gold
It's
foil.
all right.
So like as a champion player, are you finding like do you think by the time this is all said and done, you'll probably have gold foils leveled up before regular foils? Is that how it's looking for you or no?
It is, but they're so mixed and matched. So initially, when I got the gold foils, especially if I was getting a 2 or 3 drop, and I was leveling that guy up way faster than I can level up the regular foils.
Yeah, I mean, I guess these legendaries that are dropping 2s. Oh, that's a gold level. That's a gold level legendary. So
yeah, level 3 right off the bat.
But then you haven't really doubled up on any of those pools yet.
Yep.
So yeah, then that's where the question comes in, is like, when's the next time you're going to, right?
Yeah. And so I mean the regular foils then catch up, and you got to make that choice. You're gonna, because I'm kind of leveling them as they hit that level cap for that.
Yeah.
So I'm not trying to level all these cards in case I can sell them in the future.
Okay.
So if I don't have to level it, I'm not going to level it.
Yeah.
But if we hear that you can use them as workers, then for land, then I'll just level them all up. It won't really matter.
Well, I think he kind of made a point. Matt did. He made a point in one of the town halls to kind of really be like, yeah, you can definitely use them as workers, but like, why would you? Because like in his mind, these are going to be soulbound 6-9 months into the release of land. He's like, odds of you having anything maxed in the early stages of land, like, he's like, and that's also like the card to play with. And so like in his mind, he was like, yeah, you could definitely work it, but it's like gladiators. Like, are you gonna put a gladiator card on land?
Yeah, the gladiators one. I mean, those are still so hard to get, but these soulbound rewards, though, at least in for Champion League, some of these cards are going to get maxed within the next couple months.
Yeah, I mean, these are some pretty good chunks here. Oh wow, you've got legendaries over here. Yeah. So yeah, looking at it from like the first season, 170 champion chests and 40 diamonds. So more chests than you had this year. But nowhere near the production value that you had.
Yeah.
In that season.
Yep.
So, I mean, I say production value. You cleared $99, but in just soulbound production, you could definitely see your legendaries were a lot better this season.
Yeah, my drops were a lot better. I mean, just over the last week, I probably got a majority of my my production there.
That's amazing. Then yeah, going into the second season. So like, where are you at with your summoners right now? Like, what's your max level summoner for the soulbounds?
I mean, I just picked up a bunch of copies of the fire summoner.
Yeah.
Let me see what.
Yeah, it looks like you got 7 copies last season.
Yeah, and so that boosted up to level 4.
Okay.
But I think level 4 is the max I have any of them at. I have 2 of them at level 4. The rest of them are at level 2 or 3.
Nice. Yeah, I've only got the one maxed, or I've got the one to level 3, and like the other one's a little close, but for the most part, everybody else is still 1 and 2 from the amount of stuff that I've been able to get. But yeah, it looks like everything is going very well for you. Great season. I
Yeah.
cannot believe that. 6 gold foil legendaries. So
And
yeah,
I think I had only ever had one gold foil legendary drop in my entire time playing this game in a rewards chest before this. So
yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing. Because like I feel the same way. I have yet to pull one.
yeah.
Like in my entire career, and I felt that way about the gold foil legendaries out of packs. I opened so many. It felt like so many packs,
Mhm.
and just it took. I think to the very last run I had of Rift Watchers, I finally pulled my first gold foil legendary, and I was like, it wasn't even one of the good ones. It was more Delis. It was the Opportunity Red
Yeah.
guy, and I was like, it was like $60. But yeah, I ended up on my main 172 golds, 14 silvers. And you can see just a big difference between champion grind and gold. But really I'm not even a gold grind. I'm a silver account playing in gold, right?
Mhm.
So doing the best I can, averaging about 3 legendaries seems to be the go. Hello, please. I've got a question. What is your question, sir? We are here to serve. But yeah, I'd say over the last 3 seasons, like I had a great start in terms of cards, and it's petered off since then.
How's
And
your lob? Your lob.
I
no lob?
just got these are my first 4, and I
Okay.
got them in this end of season. Like, so I haven't pulled a lob in a month.
Oh, so you got that core. You had to wait all that time for that Cora.
I did not, luckily, because in my first season, I had where's she at? Right there. Boom. One
Oh,
chest went
yeah.
dragon to level 2. And so in all the bronze tournaments, I was still sneaking Cora in there, but it was had to do it through a dragon set. So Rasta says I bought some runes, but I can't seem to find it in game on Axie Infinity. Oh, bro. Yeah, so from a YGG perspective, this is specifically YGG SPL. So we're targeting specifically Splinterlands. I know nothing about Axie Infinity. Virus, you know anything about Axie Infinity?
Not at all.
Yeah, so sorry, brother. We actually can't help you on that game, but make sure you jump into the official YGG Discord. If you're not already in there, there's a bunch of resources there. Let me find you a link, my friend. There it is. And then invites. Copy. There you go, brother. Plenty of people in that Discord that play Axie Infinity. That's for sure. But sorry we weren't able to help you, brother. If you got any questions on Splinterlands, we do know a thing or two about Splinterlands, but not all things Axie. But anyway, so yeah, digging into this, it was a good start here because at least in the bronze tournaments, I've been playing with my gladiator cards, and so that's been pretty nice. But yeah, it wasn't until this end of season, and so I think that was one of the biggest shockers for me is I'm still pulling like rares that I don't own, right?
Yeah.
Lob is one of them. The majority of my red summoner is still level 1. I didn't pull a single one last season. I only pulled 3 in my first season and none in this one. So I've been on a month without that summoner either.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been interesting. And so I'm still happy though pulling these, and I'm actually enjoying the daily grind of like bringing up all of my soulbound cards and seeing which ones I can get another level on.
Yeah.
Like, that's actually been pretty fun. My strategy is not to combine any of the gold foils though. I have noticed, and you can probably tell just by looking, I do not produce near as many gold foils as I do reg foils. So I am confident that I will have reg foils leveled up well before the golds. So I'm actually going to keep all my golds at 1 BCX. I'm not even going to goof around with those. If I pull a gold foil legendary, cool, it's silver ready. So I don't have to worry. I don't have to really play it past that. So there's no reason for me to combine, where that's concerned. So that's kind of what I'm doing for my main. I've been doing really good on packs. I feel like in my gold chests. Last season was 4. Season before that was 10. Season before that was 5. Just not feeling terrible there.
You are you open on them?
I am 100%. Oops, no, I want to block you. Goodbye. So yeah, I have been opening them pretty regularly as I get them. Mainly because part of like this whole new adventure that I'm on is running my little Poke farm. And so now I've got my alt accounts, and that's actually been pretty interesting running these alt accounts. So I started with Charmander here. Charmander's getting all my gold foils, and he's just kind of running with that. His first season didn't do terrible. Didn't pull anything. 1 epic, no legendaries. And then like you can see SPS wise, it's nothing. We're literally just going for cards. But then as he's been picking up, now that he kind of gets into gold end of season and can pull lots of silver chests, it's starting to look a lot better, right? So ended up getting a pack, got some gold lobs, which is great.
Oh wow.
Right? But that was like the only gold foil I've pulled. But yeah, so I had lobs on the Charmander account well before my Cryptozard. I am also a red starter fan. So my first alt account, I named him Charmander. Because realistically, I'm having all the starter Pokemon. Like I'll have Charmander, Squirtle, and Bulbasaur, and they're all going to be like my little bronze farmers because they're all like little starter Pokemons. And so that's the lore I'm going with. And then if I ever do become a bot farmer, you will know it's me because they will all be Rattatas and Pidgeys. I'm going to swarm bronze with thousands of Pidgeys, and you will not be able to load a battle without fighting a Pidgey. And that will be the way of Splinterlands. But yeah, so it's been doing good. It's been leveling up. I'm really happy with this account. Packs, SPS. I think it's over about 100, maybe 200 SPS at this point, which is pretty cool. Staked. Doing everything that I kind of wanted it to do. It's doing way more than my cards were doing on the rental market. So that's what I feel the most grateful for. And then for the very first time, so this Charmander's running an Archmage, and then Squirtle is on Splintermate. That was something that, like, when I was trying to kind of start these, I didn't have as full of a collection on Squirtle, so I wasn't too hell-bent on giving it like the best performing bot. And so I really wanted to try Splintermate to just see, like, well, what is $1 a month? Like, what does that give me? And it really doesn't give me a lot at the end of the day. I had a win rate of just over 50%, maybe. Climbed all the way to the top of silver, right? But, I mean, who isn't? Rating inflation's pretty bad. But, yeah, so this first season climbed up really high, but now we're going to start in silver. I've really ramped up this collection quite a bit, spending, some extra money here. And I think that's the coolest part about this new adventure of the alt accounts, right? Is as a player who's transitioning from silver to gold, and I've committed to not half leveling up my main deck, right? It will, when it jumps to gold, it will be max level gold as soon as I do that, right? So all of these extra cards weren't really doing anything for me. And I also didn't have incentive to buy cards, singles, right? So I felt almost limited to packs. at that point. But now that I have these accounts that I'm looking at, like just the other day, I went to the market and I bought a bunch of like Chaos Commons, single BCX Commons, right? Scooped up Rift Watcher rares, you know, and stuff like that. Like, so I just went to the market, bought like some legendaries, just buying specific singles, not for the main account, but for the alts, pushing myself closer to that gold, right? Like, so I'm actually I'm spending more in the game now that I have the alts than I did before.
I did the same thing too, but a little bit more way over the top.
Oh, okay.
I bought one of mine a Lux.
Damn.
They were never there to rent, and
What
it was
did
part
you?
of my rental strategy.
Okay, what have you equipped your Lux bot? Like, what deck is it running? Is it still renting pretty heavy, or?
So I rent life, water, and death and dragon.
Okay.
And then I only rent that gold level for the most part.
Water, death,
but
dragon.
Generally it's going to play, like if I can get a max level for, you know, close to the same kind of price, I'll rent that max level if it's not that far off, because generally it's going to play the Lux, especially for the water team. Like usually it's going to play, because I also have, just from a card, I had a level 3 Passivulus too.
Okay.
So I just kind of delegate that to that account.
Nice.
But generally it's going to run Lux. It's just in most cases Lux is better. So if there's a max level water card that's not that much more expensive, like the commons or something like that, I'll rent those instead. And then it just plays it with the Lux. But
okay. Yeah, I've realized that the like one of the strategies with my main is like, because I just own the Lux, right? Is I play in modern on for me, but like I let the bot go as much as it wants. And just because everything was cheap at the time and like a long vision, like I will be a champion player eventually, so I might as well buy them now. I got all the reward cards to max level, right? And it's amazing just what Lux, a silver deck, and maxed out rewards, like it can go. I was like, holy crap. Like the reward cards are really meta once you get up there. Like all the bots are playing the rewards. And so yeah, that's I was most shocked about that when I was just like, all right, let's just let the account go. Let's see what it does. And yeah, it was playing up in diamond, but I don't think I was generating as many chests as I wanted. So that's why I've committed to making the bot stay in gold. But
yeah, and I mean with the energy changes too, that win rate, you almost kind of want to be a little bit more in your lane with the win rate, because you don't have as many games that you can play now.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's so. Where do you see? So, two-part question. How are you managing your main with this new ECR change? And how are you going to manage your alts, specifically your botted alts?
So, my main, I mean, it's for the most part, I normally only play down to 75% ECR. That's just how I play every day. I just play down 75%, let it recharge, play the next day.
Like, so one setting type of player?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the so I mean, I don't know that equates to the same number of matches. I don't think it does. I think it's a couple less matches with the with energy change. But
oh, you mean if you like having to do 1 an hour now and having it be one? Like, yeah, 26. If you were playing yours down to 74, you were playing more than 26 battles.
Yeah.
Yep.
So now there'll be less matches. So I guess but for the most part, it's pretty similar to how I play.
Okay. Are you going to change it all? Like, so since you normally would sit and play more than 26, right? Like, are you still going to kind of dedicate that much time? And like, are you going to buy more battles?
I I think it's gonna be tough because like my win rate is a little bit over 50%. It's not that much. It's not in the upper levels. So I don't think that my return. I don't think I would get the return on investment there.
Yeah, at that point you're at what, $1 per win?
Yeah.
Like if you go 50 cents or if you go 50 cents a match, you're winning every other one.
Yeah.
You're paying $1 for a little bit of a yeah, that'll actually be rough. And I actually like the update that they came up with today. What's up, Tails?
What's going on, Tails?
What's going on, fellas?
Yeah, we're just talking. Right now we're talking the new ECRs. We're trying to figure out. So kind of we both went through our end of seasons, where we're at on the kind of our mains and our alts and general strategies. Now we're kind of talking about what's going to happen with the new changes to ECR. Virus is saying he normally plays his main down to about 76%, and so we were just kind of talking about, are we going to be spending the DEC, right? So one of the things that came out today that I didn't think about it, but as soon as they said it, I recognized the exploit, and I'm really happy that they've addressed it before we went live. They made it clear that they will charge you based on your highest of 3 categories, right? It's either your daily, your season, or your current league, right? It's whatever is highest of the 3. That is what you're going to be paying to get your extra matches. And I can appreciate that now, because especially on some of my alts, right? If power's weird, like I've got rating inflation all the way up to like gold or whatever. So at any moment I could like cut my power. Like I could be doing gold dailies, cut power, go to silver, and like crank out 80 some matches in silver, pay fractions of the DEC that I would if I was in gold and still earn those gold daily chests, right? So these are exploits that I think they nipped pretty quick, and maybe it's bronze to silver. I don't know exactly which league was probably going to take advantage of that the best. Maybe the day 1 champions that drop back down to diamond, paying diamond prices for their extra matches but getting champion chests. I don't know, but I was really glad that they kind of addressed that today, that you have to pay on whatever your max is. So like all the champion players will always be paying champion prices, right? If you made it to champion end of season, you'll always pay 500 DEC for an extra match. So what do you think about that, Tails?
I mean, I agree. I mean, I think there's going to be definitely changes that we're going to have to adjust to. I'm actually was just on Splex looking at my season rewards because I've been gone all day and I hadn't had a chance to calculate it yet. But
nice.
For myself, like, I'm going to have to calculate, do I want to, look at paying more for the extra energy? I haven't done the math, but looking at it, it doesn't look like it's going to be feasible necessarily at champion. I'm just looking at it quickly, like since Soulbound reward cards have entered the picture for the last 3 seasons, my season rewards with about looks like somewhere between $54, like between $48 and $54 for the last 3 seasons.
Okay.
In champion.
What account are we talking about?
Sinister.
The 3 is the E, right?
Mm-hmm.
SYN3STER?
No, SYNIST3R.
SYNIST3R?
It's Sinister with a 3.
I can't spell. All right. Boom. Found you.
That's it. Yeah. I mean, so we're in the ballpark, pretty much $48 to $54, and you can see the first season we did 125 champion, 70 diamond, and the second season we did 120 champion and 77 diamond, and this last season we did, I don't know why,
what happened?
We only did 76 champion and 61 diamond.
Yeah. What do you think?
I'm not sure what happened there, honestly. We didn't really change anything. But in either case, I mean, you can see the chest values not great there on a daily basis. So if you divide, like, let's say just average it out and say it's $50 in rewards just to break even, you know, that's over 15 days. What is that? That's like
$3 a day.
33 cents a day, basically.
Oh, whoops. Oh,
So
wow.
I don't know. I have to see the cost. I don't know. Is it like 500?
Oh, $45
DC?
divided by 15 days. It's $3 a day.
$50 divided by 15?
Yeah, 50 divided by 15. It's $3.33.
Isn't that what it was? In either case, I mean, basically, if the math is such where I can break even roughly by buying energy, maybe I look at it. But again, it's not taking into account the sold on reward card value because it's valuing it that at 0 is what Splux is valuing it at. And I don't value the sold on reward card to 0 personally. So, you know, there's a little bit of a fudge factor, I guess, on what the cost is for the DC or energy. You know, there's also the discount you have to take into account. You know, if you're buying, well, if you did buy vouchers previously before vouchers spiked and you bought DECB, then, you know, your cost is obviously a lot lower to burn for the energy than the straight 500 DEC or whatever it happens to be for the final amount. So we'll see. But what I think is going to happen is I honestly think that the game is going to get much more difficult. And I posted on Twitter about this because I think it's going to, you're going to have to reset your expectations. I think people have gotten spoiled. Like I was
oh, I love it.
Oh yeah.
Tell him, Tails. Preach.
I was fighting 1 BCX. So last night I took my main account here from Novice Wild to Champ 3 Wild last night in kind of a marathon session. We streamed it on Twitch and you know, all the way up through until I got Diamond 2 in Wild. We were fighting basically 1 BCX bots for most of the battles. And we were putting like crazy win streaks. I don't even know what my highest win streak was yesterday in Wild, but it was you know, pretty silly. But I guess what's going to happen is when bots can't run 3,000 battles or bots can't run, like even humans running Archmage or Xbot, you know, like Virus was saying he's running like 25 battles a day and going down to 75%. I mean, I was doing it differently. I was keeping my ECR like around 50-51%, but I was running twice as many battles.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I was running about
set at like 2 battles an hour.
Yeah, 2 battles an hour. It's like 48-50 battles. Yeah. But now, if you're not paying, like if a majority of the people stop doing that and don't pay the extra money, because one, if you pay, it's assumed that you would have to have active key on your bot, which a lot of people don't want to do. Or two, if they have to manually do it, you know, many people, even if they wanted to do it, might forget or what have you. So, you know, I think the number of battles just from people that are using automation are going to go down. And then bots obviously aren't going to necessarily spam, you know, hundreds of battles a day and drain ECR and do delegations and weird stuff. So when the battles inherently go down by, let's say, half or more, well, the rating inflation also goes down by that same amount. So the ability for you to climb or, you know, move higher is going to be reduced, I think. And the win percentages and your win rates are going to be more meaningful now than ever. It was always more meaningful once they changed the R shares and stuff, basically. But now, you know, that's why this last season was so important, to get as high as you can last season, so after the reset, so you don't have to grind up, because I really think the grind up is going to be much harder. Not right now. Right now is still the same. Yeah. Next Tuesday or whatever it is, right? Is where things are going to be a little bit of a reset of expectations. And I think there's going to be much gnashing of teeth and, you know, torches and pitchforks, you know, will start to get collected, because people will be like, well, why am I not in Diamond with my silver deck? And you're like, well,
dude,
they call it a silver deck for a reason.
I wanted to shake every person that was like, man, my skill. Oh, my skill allows me to play bronze and diamond. I'm like, bro, it's not. Stop. Go sit down. You don't. But no, I'm actually there are so many things with this change that it is going to target. One, right, like just out the gate, you're right. Automation cannot play more than a game an hour. Period, right? So theoretically, if we decrease the amount of battles again, like take another slash out of the number of battles a day, we're increasing the rewards per battle. Right?
Yes, so if you're winning those battles,
Just period. It's the amount of
shares should
chips
be
on the table, period. If there's not as many battles going in a day, there's more chips on the table.
absolutely, yeah. I mean, and if you're a winning player, you're going to get more chips in theory,
Yeah.
because yeah, there's just not as many.
Yeah, rating inflation is, I mean, that's been a huge thing. There's no reason the silver leaderboard should be up at like 3,200. Like you cap out at 1,900 for silver, right? Like normal people go from silver to gold at 1,900, right? You don't keep going for a leaderboard all the way up to 32. It's flipping ridiculous. And it was, I mean, it really wasn't much better in bronze or even in gold. I don't know how it was in diamond or champion, but no, rating inflation, the automation, the prizes. I mean, it's all just good. And you know, as they're advertising it, right? You take everything that we just talked about off the table. They're just saying it's a simpler solution. And realistically, it is.
It's
know,
good PR, right? It's good PR.
Yeah.
So, and what's going to be interesting is, I think you're going to continue. So we've already, I mean, and Virus has mentioned it as well at the beginning of the stream, I think as well as, you know, I think a lot of us have looked at consolidating our cards and our decks and our rentals to play higher up, at least gold minimum. And, you know, trying to get, ideally, I mean, champion rewards are where it's at. You know, diamond's second best and gold's kind of like the minimum you want to really be at, in my opinion, for farming soul bond reward cards.
Yep.
It's just my personal opinion. And obviously champion's much better than diamond, and diamond's better than gold. That being said, is, you know, to get to those levels, people have had to combine cards or change their rental strategy to farm at those levels. Now, with this new change, as you mentioned, with the battles being reduced, in theory, like assuming that everyone's not just paying DEC and burning it, which is obviously good for the ecosystem as a whole if that happens. So great, congratulations if that happens. Everyone wins for the most part. But let's say they don't. The battles go down. The prizes, as you mentioned, the chips go up, but the competition for those chips also goes up. So you're going to, like, for right now, like I siphon off my main multiple splinters and give it to another account so that it can, you know, earn rewards in diamond. The question is, you know, if my win rate suffers because I don't have those splinters or those cards when I need them, you know, do I change it and now combine those two accounts into just one? Or does it still make sense to run multiple weaker accounts? Same thing with, you know, cards that you might have been renting. You may have combined them up to gold, but don't want to combine them up to max level for diamond. Now, do you revisit that and say, hey, you know what? I need to get this card to this level to be successful, to get the win rates where I need it. And that's ultimately good for the game if that happens. So
I agree. So I guess talking about that from our, you know, our main perspective, you know, I think for me, I'll let the bots, so like on my main, my bot plays a game an hour, so I'll still let that continue. And then when I feel like jumping on and playing, I just play. So maybe that's something that I'll just continue. And then once I've reached the point of where like I've jumped on and played, you know, whatever, 26 of my own games, I go buy 26 games, you know, or something like that. I'll like buy my own games, you know, for the most part. But on the alts, I'm not entirely sure yet. There is, I don't know. I don't think I want to pay to have my bot play more. I would rather pay for me to play more because I have way more faith in myself than I do my bots, right? So maybe my bots do just get turned to one game an hour, and that's where we're at. for like the rest of their existence.
Yeah, I have a feeling that for me buying the games, it'll probably be at end of season, just to make sure to get. I mean, see if I could go higher than once I get into Champ 1, I can try to keep on pushing it to see how many chests I can get there. Because this season, I was talking to Tails in his stream yesterday. I was really debating. I was like, do I keep on trying for more chests after hitting Champ 1? And him and Elephantium were in there like, no, stop. Just go over to play some Wild for a while.
Play some Wild.
But and so I sacrificed some chests to do that, to make sure I sit up in Champ 1 for that. But now with being able to buy energy, I could try it, and then if I didn't stay in Champ 1, I could buy some more matches and keep on going until I get myself back up there, if that's how I did it. Or I could take the chance and maybe get on leaderboard or get some more chests up there in Champ 1.
Yeah, I think there's a leaderboard play there too. With the extra battles, they're gonna be pretty necessary, I think, to leaderboard, right? Like 50 matches, right? That's what we're talking. You can buy up to 50 in a day.
Yeah, I mean, in theory, if people are paying to upgrade and do those matches, they're actually running more battles than they are running today. Like I mentioned, I'm running like 48 to 50 right now.
Yeah.
If I buy battles in the future, I'll actually be running like 74 roughly.
Yeah, it's 74 a day in a 15-game season. That's 1,010 games.
Yeah. That
really only bots do that, right? So like, if we do figure out a way, to pay for the bots and it turns out to be acceptable, or like if it's cost appropriate, then that was something that I was thinking about, is with it being 74 games a day with the buy, that's 3 games an hour. So I could actually increase the productivity of my bot by 50%, right? Because it's only playing 2 games an hour now to stay above 50%, but now I can play 50% more games and earn full rewards the whole time.
Correct.
So
that's the kind of the wild card here, is the factor that, for you and I that were running 50 or 51% ECR, we were getting 50% our shares, pretty much, because we were getting the extra battles basically, but at the half the value of the wins, which over time with a bot with a winning percentage is positive EV. But now, if you pay up, not only are you in theory getting potentially more SPS pool rewards, but you're in theory getting 100% R shares for daily chess. So you could actually get more rewards, obviously, in this way.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how the chess plays out here, because like our R share calculation was always a function of the ECR. So now if we're 100% R shares, we could be more.
It's not drained as fast too, so what we're saying with less matches, so you might be getting more SPS per match. Not even just if the SPS is a higher price, it's if you're getting more SPS per match because the pool's not drained as much as it would have been with more matches.
Yeah, but honestly, Deco, it's if we did, of course, that's part of the calculation, right? If we do ever get to the point where like 500 DEC, if we are back to where you're making $1 worth of SPS in a win, and you have to pay 500 DEC to play again, there absolutely probably is a world where you're like, let's hit that button again, give her another pool, So I think SPS price does play a big role in deciding whether or not you go for it.
I also just want to quickly comment on the Soulbound reward card. So we've talked, in the past, Rogue and Virus, about,
dude, your Twitter is like a giant like every time you just keep posting screenshots with your little farmer emoji. I'm just like, you got your tractor and your race and your
I'm loving
jobs.
I'm loving it.
I laugh.
I mean, until they fix it, right? Here we go. I've got my overalls on, and I've got my little piece of weed or hay in my mouth, my big old hat. Just call me Hillbilly Tales. We're out here farming. But no, I mean, look, the season rewards here for this account is 321 BCX of Soulbond reward cards.
Yeah.
To put that into perspective, that's not even taking into account the gold foils and the multi BCX value that they get. That's equal to more than 64 packs if these were Rift Watchers. And it's kind of like a Rift Watcher set. I kind of equate it to the same as similar to a Rift Watcher set.
Yeah.
I mean, if you put your tinfoil hat on and say, hey, the Soulbond reward cards actually was the Rebellion set. They just made it Soulbond reward cards because it was easy.
Tinfoil hat.
You know, so basically, if I'm getting 64 Rebellion packs every season for free for farming, I mean, what is that value? If you just say that, you know, Rebellion packs are $5 plus a voucher, similar to Rift Watchers, all of a sudden that's $320+ of value that tack on to that $48.
Yeah.
So that's the question everyone has to ask themselves. You know, what do you value Soulbond reward cards? Do you value them for their ability to earn you future rewards on your account?
Yeah.
You know, obviously we can't value them for unlocking purposes yet because we don't know what the cost is going to be, but they have probably some value. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, that to me, that's a ton of cards. And I look at this as a long-term play, not a short-term play. So for me, I'm loving it.
No, I'm with you there, brother. I'm with you. Can't value them right now, but like I think we all know how valuable they are, right? Can't put a dollar value, but we know that they're important, right?
Yeah, and I mean we're starting to get to the levels for some of the cards. Like you see, I shared some battles on Twitter where it's 100% Soulbond reward cards, and in some cases gladiator cards that are winning battles and just dominating. And we're going to see more and more of that here as people start leveling up their cards. So.
Yeah, these are cards that I'm actually really jealous of. I'm finding more in tournaments, like those that have unlocked. Izar here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that
But
card
the Martyr,
is so good. No, the taunt void for white. Oh my goodness.
right? But it gets Martyr at I think it's gold level.
Does it really?
And when you have, what does life have? It has tons of resurrects. And what does taunt make you do? It makes you kill it first, right? So I think Hawks also had a video on this recently as well.
Yeah, this card is.
I mean, it's just gross.
Yeah.
You take the Wraith, you know, just Shield Bearer and replace it with Izyar now with Martyr, and I mean, it just spirals out of control, and your opponent's just going like, I gotta kill this guy, but if I kill this guy, the next guy's gonna be even worse, right? So.
Yep. Yeah, it would only really be a Yasik at that point that would kind of be the counterplay, but. Sure. Yeah, no, these are cards that I still don't own yet, like that are popping up sometimes. Like I've lost some Noxious Fumes match to this one that I don't own. I'm seeing that Clockwork Aid show up as like it's a really good sneak protect card, honestly. Just right in that 6 spot. Just sitting there with all them shields, and then plus all the buffs that he gives to the team. Like it's just a great card to park back there, right?
Yeah, I mean, Equalizer battles are great. When you combine that with situational things like when you get the weapons training card leveled up here for life, and then you put that in the second position behind, you know, that card, and then if you run it with Astral Entity or Life or whatever that has Resurrects, it just becomes annoying. And there's just a lot of combinations that we haven't seen in a lot of cases because people don't have the cards at least to gold or higher level yet. Like even if you look at Life, like I think it's the Imperial Knight, you look at that card at, you know, before level, I think it's 5, the card looks like garbage.
Yeah,
but then all of a sudden it becomes like it's got void armor, plus it becomes like a Pelacor mercenary kind of with a self heal. It's just, you know, all of a sudden the card becomes useful. So
yippers. Yeah, so Virus, what did you say you were doing with your alts going into this new change?
So for those, I mean, for the most part, they should just run the same. I mean, they run the same kind of thing too. They run down to 20 or down to 75%. I'm using Xbot, so it runs all its games at once.
Oh yeah, so I don't really know anything about the Xbot bot. Why don't you tell me a little bit about it?
So for the Xbot, it basically has like you could set it for 24-hour, you could set it for 12-hour, or 6-hour, whatever kind of time frame that you want. But you tell it a ECR percentage to run down to, and then it's going to play games till it gets down to that ECR percentage.
And it rapid fires.
Yeah. Yep.
Interesting.
So that's what's running on my alts, which there's 2 tokens for that. There's the Xbox Lite and the Xbot Lite and Xbot just regular. The Xbot Lite can only run up to gold level. If you put your account into diamond level, it won't run.
Okay.
And the regular Xbot token can run all the way to champ.
Was there a big price difference between the two?
Yeah. And they originally were like, I think $25 for the Xbox Lite, and $50 for the Xbot regular. And they're having a sale coming up, and they've now moved up to $50 for the Xbot Lite and $100 for the Xbot. But they're selling that way on Hive Engine. Those tokens are selling for, I think, got up to like $140 with the Hive Pump.
Wow. I mean, I've heard good things. I've heard that it's absolutely,
Yeah, so that's what I have running on. I have a regular Xbot token on that rental account that I'm playing with that Vega. So I'm renting gold level cards, letting it play in Diamond. It's only getting to Diamond 2 or Diamond 3 with the limited splinters I'm giving it.
Yeah.
But then the other ones, I just have it on the Xbot Lite tokens, and just those are, one is a gold foil 2 BCX account of owned cards, and the other one is maxed silver level.
Okay.
And
so how much do you pay for the Xbot?
Nothing.
So just buy the token and that's it? Like there's no percent share?
Yeah, and you can even if you want to, like if you're gonna mess around with it enough, you can move that token between like 5 accounts. So if you wanted to set it up right and you had like, let's say 5 accounts that you were running, you could, and it's a known thing. It's not like an exploit. Like the guy that runs this even said it in their Discord. You can move it, like you can have one set to run at, let's say 10 a.m. And then once it's done, you can move the token over to your other account and let it run at noon, and then have it run at different times and move the token across up to 5 accounts.
Wow. And then there's no reward share at that point. It's just you bought the token and you get to use the service.
Yep. Forevermore.
Wow. Forevermore, Tails.
Icy Flow is rolling over right now.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I'm gonna have to look into it, because that was part of the exploration. Now I feel like, as with anybody who tries drugs for the first time, it's like you just got to try them all. Then at that point, so like as soon as I had my Archmage, I'm like, I just need all the bots. So I'm like trying all the bots at this point. I'm like, oh, what does this bot do? Whoa, look at all the colors. But so that's why I was looking at Splintermate. And I was just seeing, I was like, all right, cool, because like I know Archmage's structure and everything with its sharing, and like for me the reward sharing never mattered, because like you weren't getting crap for SPS and silver anyway, so it was like whatever. Sharing a certain percentage of that didn't matter. But then when it got to the point where I was like on my second alt account, I'm like, man, I don't know if I can keep affording these tokens. So I was like, that's like a huge upfront cost for something that I don't think is going to really net a lot. I was like, well, let's just do Splintermate on this one. Let's see what $1 a month does me. But I've been hearing a lot of things about Xbot, so I might have to give it a try sometime. But we'll see. We'll see. So we are being asked, how do you guys feel about the staking price of the promo? It's about $13,000 to $15,000, or no, yeah, $13,000 to $15,000 of SPS staked to get 400. I know, right? It almost sounds like this was for the whales, but that doesn't make sense, does it? Like, how would they just get on and vote something for themselves? That seems weird to me. Tails?
Yeah, I mean, no comment. If I say something, I'm gonna get myself in trouble. So.
Virus, what you think, brother?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't see the reasoning behind doing that. I know originally they were like the reason that they gave was that it shows the value in staking SPS and
Right.
might get more people to do it. Well, the only thing I could see it do is and I was saying this originally when it was first said, I was like, it's gonna cause a little mini pump and dump. Basically, either people are gonna buy more SPS when it first happens, like right before the snapshot, and then unstake over a period of time and sell off whatever that they did, or they're going to withdraw all their SPS out of the liquidity pools, stake, and then unstake and do the same, put it back in liquidity pools.
Yep. Yeah, that'll be my plan.
So, it doesn't, I don't think in the end you're going to end up with more people with more staked SPS after this. They're just going to, they're going to unstake whatever they added to it and go back to where they were.
Yeah. So, looking at this from a printing distribution standpoint, okay, the Artemis Bear minted 827,000 BCX, right? So the max BCX that we're gonna get out of this is like, if we see an increase in staked, as of right now, it's only going to be 522, but we do have 397 circulating. So depending how much of that gets into here, we're going to be, if I had to guess, I don't think we're going to see a big increase in the stake, like not in the millions, right? I think we're going to see this maybe at 600 if we're lucky. Like,
My guess is in the 300s.
Wait, what? How? We're already at 522.
How many accounts do you think that are out there with 500, 600, 700 SPS? I'll bet you a majority of accounts are at under 1,000 SPS staked.
You're saying, okay, so if we have 522 million staked, you're saying we're only going to mint 300.
Yeah.
Ah.
Because I think so right now I have 4 accounts and 3 of them, which I'll probably boost them each up to get to, that line of 1,000. But I don't think most people are thinking that.
Actually, it's great that you brought that up because I wasn't, but you're right. Squirtle and Charmander need their damn cards. So they're going to get a little bump.
Yeah. But I think a majority of accounts have less than 1,000 SPS staked, and I'll bet you that's a huge portion of the staked SPS.
Interesting. Yeah, you could be right there. You could absolutely be right. And then how many people just don't even like? Hey, do you think anybody doesn't care enough to go get a voucher to take advantage of this?
Well, so the account that was going to do the what is it? Not like the Coinbase or Binance proposal. The guy that owns a massive amount of Ali's account. It's one of the largest SPS holder accounts. Blockchain FF.
Okay.
I don't know much about him as a player, but I don't know if he buys cards with it or if he's just a SPS investor.
I don't know either. I really don't.
So that's one of the largest SPS holders. I don't know if he buys cards. Is he going to go out and buy vouchers, or is he going to use vouchers or whatever to buy cards?
Yeah. So I think you bring up good points. Like in my mind, I had just kind of assumed if there's 522 million, right? Like billion, 522 million. God, 2 to 3 decimal places. That's impressive. But 522 million. I assumed that we were going to have 522,000 of this card, right? Like that everybody would kind of jump on it. But you're right. It probably will be. So we're maybe talking half the print run of Artemis. So Artemis is held very steady at a quarter per bear. And so I guess, is there any part of this? Do you think it'll just kind of follow a supply and demand without any respect to initial cost? Or do you think that initial cost will have an effect on the floor, right? Do you think people are viewing this as some value to the 1,000 SPS that they staked? Or is it going to be like just trading in a voucher for like a 2x or a 3x?
That's tough. I think there's going to be a lot of players that have the, how many players have 400K plus staked? And a lot of those people that do have that are champion level or high level players.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to want to keep all of theirs. The people that are going to have extras are going to be the massive stakers. So the people with, 1 million plus staked. And they're going to be, the question is, those people, how are they going to release their cards to sell? And if they just hold them, if they are waiting for things to raise in price, the prices could go pretty high. In which case, then you get the accounts that maybe bought 10 or 20 that start giving up theirs because it's not worth having $1 card that you got for 10 cents. They already 10x their voucher price.
Yeah.
So they might sell off their cards.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the cost, basically 1,000 SPS is roughly, let's just say $30 roughly, and then you got the 10-cent voucher or whatever. So just to be able to get one copy of this, you basically have to have an opportunity cost of $30.10. Now, at the end of the day, if this Bruise card is the next Goblin Chef, right? No one's going to care. It's like, okay, it's, I get this thing for 10 cents and, whatever. It's not a big deal. If the card is like Artemis the Bear and it's a meta card and it's good, prices could get interesting. It could get, Sandworm or higher level pricing, perhaps. It just depends. But the cost is, it's not easy to necessarily get this card to the levels that people would want if it's a meta card. Is I guess the takeaway here. So crazy things could happen depending on the card.
Yeah, and honestly, I guess I'm from my perspective, that sucks. So one, having it being at least half the print distribution of Artemis does kind of worry me, right? If Artemis is at 25 cents, to max that card's $100. $100 isn't cheap, right? Plus the way in which we went about getting Artemis per BCX was way cheaper than what it's going to take to get this card per BCX, right?
Yep.
And so I worry that the card is it's not going to feel as if it came about so freely. And so I think that is going to have a high price on the secondary market. Plus,
as long as it's not a Goblin Chef.
Even if it's a Goblin Chef, at the end of the day, because Nate, you screwed us here. You put a lot of lore and a lot of love and a lot of flavor, and you made the damn card cool. Like, the whole concept is cool. The little thing digging in the chest, and it's like, oh, it's your little spinny thing that you've been staring at forever. Like, I'm already emotionally attached to this flipping thing. I don't care if it's a Goblin Chef. I want it.
You're a softie, Rogue.
I really am. It's gonna just be like a little thing that sits on my shoulder. I'm gonna max it.
When are you gonna order the plushies?
You know what? I'd buy a plushie of that one.
See, my problem is that they named the card after me.
Yes, they did.
A namesake card. So I have to have one. And I don't have nearly the SPS staked for it. So
yeah. Yeah, because I was looking at it. It's like, so I've got, I don't know, 14K right now. So it's like, hey, even if I don't, I can't even easily get to 60K SPS to have just guaranteed max silver, right? Like, I'm going to have to buy some. And And I don't know, I guess maybe I was spoiled with the last reward cards because I was able to max those. So like I kind of had it in my head. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be able to max all the cards from here, right? Especially like the little promos and such. And I was like, the bear, I actually only got up to it's like 280 or 260 or something. Like I need 120 some copies of that one still. And so I don't know. Maybe I'm just going to be at the point where like 60. I might have to cap myself at 60 on this one. I'll just have, maybe get some for Charmander and Squirtle, but I don't know. It's weird. But yes, in answer to your question, sir, I do think it's absurd that they're doing this. I am not near as mad as I was in previous episodes anymore. Do you guys know why? Because there's another promo.
Yeah.
By the grace of God, they did not let the Dow pull the financial lever, and they're pulling one their flipping selves. I was ecstatic. That was like, I don't remember much of any of the town hall, except for when Nate was like, oh, you mean the other promo? You mean the one that we're doing? Like the one where we're burning DEC? Yeah. I was like, yes! Yes! Suck it, Wales! It's like, oh, man, because just the fact that they casually dropped that, too, like, we got no information on it at all. But the fact that they confirmed that they will be pulling a financial lever this quarter with a promo card, I am super excited. I am super excited for that. I have no idea what that's going to look like because now I feel like we do have a lot of let's burn DEC options here at the end of March. Like we went from like no DEC burning to now it looks like we're going to have a lot to do here in the early part. Like if we have surveying, if we have this promo, if we start the Secret of Pretoria, there could be a lot to do.
If people want to buy matches or buy energy.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, buying that was I forgot about that one. Yeah, the one DEC for market changes and all that. Like there's just all of a sudden went from like nothing to boom, burn it. So pretty crazy. What do you guys feel about that? Like, do you feel like, in my opinion, it's promises made, promises kept? They said this is what we're going to do with DEC, and we're finally getting there, right? We're finally getting to where DEC is going to be the consumable, like, token. It's not going to be the infinitely printed one. It's going to be the infinitely burned one, and you have to really go out of your way to get that token, right? So I'm starting to see it come to light. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think we're finally starting to see it. You're right that we're kind of getting to that point where the DEC sinks are there, and I think for the first time the other night with the Hive Pump, we were hitting 0.0008.
Yeah, 80 cents,
and it was staying there. It was holding for a while. I don't know if it's still there. I haven't really checked lately, but
we're at 75. We had a nice little come down today.
But the question is, if we start hitting that point again and start going a little bit above that, what are the DEC bag holders price where they're going to start unleashing their DEC to sell it into the market? Because that's the next kind of wall. Is there's people out there that are holding massive amounts of DEC. They need to get rid of it. So it won't just go straight to peg and then we're all good. There's going to be some kind of period of whales or bag holders, getting rid of their DEC at a certain price, whether that's 8.5 or 9.0 or something like that. They have a price in mind where they're going to start probably slowly releasing their DEC to get their money back or make a gain because it's gone up by so much. So there's people that make a huge profit at that point.
Yeah,
but it's good to see.
Well, no one's really talking about it, but there's a lot of new DEC taxes that are in place. And I know you alluded to it, but the market, the rental market DEC tax, plus the sale market as well, has that as well. If you want to sell something, same thing. And then land, the staking a card on land with, you know, whatever is 10,000 DEC is what they're saying, right? That's a lot of DEC, even though it's not burnt, it's just staked. It's someone's gonna buy it if they don't have it. Like, you know, I don't own a ton of land, but I own enough land where I don't have the DEC I need to stake my stuff on land. So I'm gonna have to buy DEC at some point between now and, I don't know, the next couple months.
Yep.
If everyone has to do that, that's a lot of demand. So we'll see what happens. But out of curiosity, speaking of DEC syncs and the changes here, have any of you guys used Splex recently and tried to add cards to your Splex account, or if you removed cards and added cards, have you noticed any weird behaviors there?
No, actually, I actually walked away from Splex after they kind of made the announcement. I was just like, I went over to Peak Monsters and I had some PKM, so I got like their subscription thing over there. Took a look at some of their price tools and just kind of set my stuff. Just went back to a set it and forget it type of strategy. So plus like creating, like that was also part of my thing, is like now that I've created my alts, I don't have that many cards to go back onto the market with. And so, you know, that's kind of with what small collection I had to actually do rent stuff, I would just do it myself. So
yeah, nope. I haven't taken any cards out of mine. I kind of took a pause for mine when everything was going on with the 1 DEC rental prices. So I was kind of seeing how things shake out, and so now I'm kind of looking to add more cards in there, take some cards out and combine them for my accounts.
Yeah, and that's what I did, Virus. So I was preparing for land, and I took reward cards that I had at, like, you know, level 5 or 6 or 4 or whatever, and I combined them up to the max level in preparation for land. And if I didn't have a place for them, I re-added them back to Splex, and Splex looks at them and says, "No, there's too many of these on the market," or whatever. I honestly don't know what it's doing, but it's not listing them, even though I'm telling it to list them. And I think it's because of the 1 DEC rentals. They're like by going like, "Hey, there's, you know, 150 max level cards in front of you. We could charge you 1 DEC to list it, but it's not going to rent, so we're just not going to list it." I think that's what's happening. I haven't asked on Splex Discord, and I haven't checked their announcements. I'm just looking at it just from a user perspective that's just trying to use it as normal. But it looks like that's what's happening. It looks like, you know, the cards that I've activated and re-added to the account, the Splex is just like, nah, not going to do anything with that.
Yeah, I think there's a couple things, and I don't know 100% how it's working. And I think they even kind of said that they're still testing some things, and this is the first phase of how this is going to work. But one thing is, do you know if you reactivated the cards?
Yep.
Okay, so if you've reactivated them, because if you didn't reactivate them, then they won't re-rent.
Yep, they're reactivated and they're not on cooldown.
What's your minimum DEC amount for a rental?
I didn't set anything.
So the default's 2. And I don't think it's going to rent anything. It's not going to set a price below 2 by itself. If you want to, you can go in there and, I mean, you can basically set a rental for the card below 2.
Does a max level O'Shaughnessy rent for more than 2 DEC?
No. I don't know, it might. It's worth looking at, I guess.
Probably not at the beginning of the season. I'm sure towards, you know. That's a good question, though.
Yeah, I mean, I've got max level Jared Scars and O'Shaughnessy's, and they're sitting there. Yeah, again, I don't know. I haven't done enough research. I was just looking at it while we were talking on stream and going, what is going on here? It's been like 2 days.
Max O'Shaughnessy is actually 3.5. So it's not killing it by any stretch, but there you go.
How many are available for max levels right now?
308 according to this, but it says just 308 available. I don't know if that's all maxed, but
yeah, I mean, I think that's the problem, right? When you have a centralized rental group, it's kind of like a FIFO queue, right? If everyone's waiting to get rented, there's not enough renters, and you're getting charged to add yourself to the queue. It doesn't make sense if there's, 100 people in front of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and actually going back to the Vruz, the promo card, I wonder how many of these, the whale SPS accounts, are big card renters too. So you're going to have a lot of these, the whales are actually just not going to sell their cards. They're just going to combine them up to max level and put them in the rental market.
Yeah, I could see that.
So you might have even less that are out in the market for sale.
Be interesting. Oh, so Eros here is saying, did you enable Band-Aid mode? Maybe that has something to do with it. There's a post lower setting too. I have no idea what Band-Aid mode is. That's crazy.
Yeah, I probably need to figure out how to use the tool. I just, never had to configure anything with Splex before. Just
right. That was always the cool part. It was like renting for dummies. It was just like, oh, okay, Golem, I give you and you do thing. And yeah, there's going to be a lot more thinking now where that's concerned. And so that's why I've kind of made the decision that I made. But yeah, here's another thing I want to talk about tonight. They tried to sell a thing today. How do you guys feel it's going?
So I posted on this because I was actually awake when it happened in real time.
When it went live?
Yeah, well, I was awake when it went live, and when only like 40 were sold.
Mm-hmm.
And then someone said, hey, I'm getting staking rewards today instead of a week later. And then it's like everyone's like, oh, everyone started buying, and then they shut down for maintenance. And it was kind of a CF basically. And yeah, I mean, still you can see they've only sold 169 licenses here.
Yeah.
You can see I think if you go to the other page under nodes, it's like 284, 64. I can't see that, but it's I think like about, what is it? $3 a day.
It's 284 GLX plus 15.4 GLGT nodes. Oh, per node per day. That's a lot of GLX. That's not bad.
I mean, it's.
But how much do you got? How much do you got to burn right now? You got to burn.
It's like $1,000.
Yeah, $1,000 of 3-penny stock is what.
Yeah, and if you let's say you value it at 4 cents.
That's 25,000.
284 GLX is like $11 a day right now, and it's going to go down over time. And so $11 a day, and you got to also account for the GLGT, which I want to say is around, I don't know, 9 cents. I don't even know where it's at, honestly. Well, let's say that's another $1.50. Let's just say it's 10 cents each. That's $12.86. So you would ROI on, if it stayed at $12.86.
Yeah.
Good ROI in like 3 months.
Yep.
If it didn't go down. And GLX was at 4 cents. So is that terrible? No, but it's kind of hard to buy something for $1,000 when you know it's just going to go down, because once they get to 1,000, then they instantly print 500 more because the airdrop happens at that point.
Yeah.
So if you look at
that's kind of part of all this is like, it's actually really interesting. If this never sales, then nobody gets their free ones.
No one gets free ones.
And I think that is hilarious, honestly. If this thing just stays in pre-sale for months.
The crazy thing is if you calculate the returns of the GLX itself, once the airdrop happens, so let's say they sell out of the pre-sale, which is 1,000 nodes, and then they dump 500 immediately, essentially within a couple days. You're 52,000. I think is it 52,000 GLX a day is what's being dropped. I believe that's an amount. According to the Peak D article. Let me just pull it up. I'm pretty sure it's like 52,000 and change. 51,280 is exactly what it is. So if you take that, it should get there eventually, and you divide it by 1,500, which is the airdrop plus pre-sale, you're only going to get 34 GLX a day at that point, as an airdrop holder or a pre-sale holder. Yeah. And at 4 cents GLX, That's $1.36 a day. So it's about 1/10 of
Yeah, it
what you're
went
getting
from
now.
3 months to 3 years.
Exactly.
Yep.
And that's why I think a lot of people, that's why these are not selling like hotcakes right now, because it's
Well,
kind of like a double-edged sword from a economy perspective. It's like, if you buy it now, yes, you'll get good returns now, but for how long? And at what point do those returns become basic, like an albatross across, your neck, basically, where you're just like, I'm stuck, with this 34 GLX a day, and it kind of sucks.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like it's it's like trying to sell the same crowd the same product that you didn't deliver on the first time, the second time. You know, it's just like I there's nobody new here. There's nobody that's like, ooh, what's Splinterlands? Like that's hanging out in GLX. You know what I mean? Like everybody was around for that node sale. Everybody's been around for nodes. Everybody's seen how that plays out, right? Like, I don't think there's anybody that's like, yeah, let me get a node right now, you know? Because it doesn't make sense today. Like there's no reason for that sale to have happened today in my mind. I can't think of a reason.
Well, also look at the market. If you look at the SPS validator license nodes, I think they were selling for like $840 tonight. I think it's
Oh, less than $1,000?
yeah. So people were paying, I don't know what, over 1,500 for those. So that's not a great sign, right? So
yeah. So theoretically, right? Do you think the shards are going to come onto the market at less than $100? I do.
Yes, absolutely,
100%. So I think the next 500 is going to be cheaper than this first 1,000. You know, as soon as we get there.
I think the way they set it up, they doomed it similar to Rift Watchers. I don't think we get to 1,000. I don't think we get to the airdrop anytime soon. I think it stalls. There's an APR because the staking rewards are in place for the next, I don't know, 240 days. There's a point where people just say, hey, it's a law of diminishing returns. I'm not going to take my GLX and burn it permanently when I can stake it and have it liquid and earn for free, like 164% APR.
Like I have my GLX unstaked for today. Like I started my unstaking 3 weeks ago, just in case, right? Just in case something crazy happened in the market. Like I set, I'm part of whatever that big buy wall is, right? Like if you look at, the buy wall, like I'm over here somewhere, part of this. If anything stupid happened today, so. Looking at this, like I'm over here somewhere. I'm just like, if anything crazy happens, I've got some GLX that you can have. But that's what I unstaked for, was just for a big pump, right? Is if for some reason the demand was there. I didn't expect it to be, but then also seeing what happened with the packs, a couple weeks ago, whenever that happened, right? Like the price can pump real quick for no reason, really, like just small moves because the liquidity is so low and because the supply in comparison is really low. Like at the end of the day, we burned what is this, like 25% of the liquid supply, or like 20% of the liquid supply is currently burnt. That's pretty significant, but watching this number, like nobody came out of staked. That was the interesting part. Nobody moved on this. Like this ratio here, this was at like 23 million going into today. Like everybody's still fine with the high APR on staking GLX right now. And so I took mine out for today, hoping maybe something was going to happen, and that way I could like just move some into Splinterlands. But realistically, I think I'm going back into staking. I'm just going to go back into the 130 whatever percent that we got for staking, if I remember right. Yeah, still 164%. on GLX.
And I wonder too. So the validator software should be coming in the near future, supposedly.
Wait, do what? Yeah, so you're. Oh, this is another thing that I was curious about in the last town hall and everything. Did they kind of make it sound like the GLX nodes were going to be online before the Splinterlands nodes are?
I
Or
would
is
think
that-
it should be pretty much the same software. I didn't catch that part.
That's what I was thinking. Oh, I thought it was the same software, right? Like that's like I assumed whoever was building the Splinterlands nodes was also building the GLX nodes. I assumed it was going to be the same software. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I know it's important. I know it's important to them, but especially with this push on land and especially everything else they've been focusing on game wise, I don't think it. I don't know when it's coming. You know.
Yes,
So
I mean, I agree with you too, especially on the whole new customers part. Like, I don't think there's new customers that are in, Genesis League Soccer that weren't in Splinterlands yet, or not many yet. But I think what they're doing with the whole tech modernization thing, I think Genesis League is starting off all with complete tech modernization done.
Mm-hmm.
And so that includes like the site itself, but that also includes the validator node software running. So they are already at the, Genesis League Soccer is already at that point where that's already running. So they figure, oh, well, now we just got to sell the node licenses. That's why they do it now instead of when there's new people in the ecosystem that might be interested in buying this and not just investors. That's the only reason I could think of, because if you're wanting to sell something, like you want to hype up like, oh, it's a node and it's for the good of the game. You want to do that when you have people that are hyped for the game and into it, to kind of want to invest into it.
A virus.
Yeah.
What game?
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. They didn't really show anything new either.
No, they had nothing to show.
Well, except for the card.
Yeah.
And I was actually very happy with the design of the card. I thought the back of that looked very slick. I like the concepts that they're doing with the levels and the stars. Like, I think that'll help. And it did ease my brain knowing like when they basically said, they were like, look, there's like 500 players and they're not all snowflakes. There's going to be a lot of them that are kind of the same. They kick the same, they dribble the same, they dance the same. And so that, that made me feel a little bit better, knowing that, because like 500 unique cards, I was like, we're never going to be able to level these up, right? But like, I could have a leveled up forward and you could have a completely different leveled up forward and they can perform the exact same, right? And so that's something that I eased my brain a little bit after the last GLX town hall. So
you want to see something interesting is if you
Tails break my world.
If you pull up Twitter, I think Bulldog just recently responded to my GLX tweet.
Twitter. Bulldog.
I can maybe send it in chat.
I'm a bit of a... I don't think I'm friends with Bulldog. In the chat, let me know. But yeah, so I've got like 9,000 GLX here that just isn't... I got it at like 0.27. And so it needs to like 3x from where it's at. And I don't think we're gonna get that. All right, so you said, oops, one side of this deal is not going to be pleased. No yield for the next week on nodes. Huh? Like how Gene's just like, guys? Guys? Damn. That's big. I'm earning now as well. Bro, steak reward is life. It's mistake after mistake after mistake. It's why I've completely sold out of the project. They continuously mess up so small, simple projects. How can I trust them to build a fun, thriving game balanced around a sustainable economy? Damn, Bulldog. You're talking like they fired you or something. Jeez. Holy shit, you mad. Damn.
And I don't know if it is this or not, but originally one of the things that they had promised was like, oh, the GLX team is not mixed in with the Splinterlands team. It was back when they didn't lay off everyone.
Yeah.
They said there was separate teams for GLX and there's separate teams for Splinterlands. They don't interact. They're not the same people. Well, now they are.
Ish. I mean, there's for sure Chatter, Matt, and who else? I don't know. I think I was most shocked at like even if they were like, yeah, that they're their own team, but I think it's only like 5 people. So there's not even like there's not a big thing going on over there, right? They've got, Chicklet, the main soccer dude, and a programmer, like the Noble Hawk guy.
Yeah, but I mean, this is, a couple pretty big mistakes that they've had right in the beginning, between the low liquidity and not kind of seeing that coming with that issue. And then now this, it's, the APR being there before it was supposed to be.
Yeah, the spice I heard on that was that the team actually knew, right? The team was made aware of the liquidity issue on the last one and didn't respond to it. Like that was something that I ended up hearing. Like that whole story, that whole scandal exploit thing, like I'm totally on the opposite side of the fence now. Like the more that I'm hearing about it, the more I'm like, man, I'm not even mad. I'm not even mad. But yeah, I'm kind of a little bit aligned with Bulldog on this one. Like the only reason, and I don't know if I have a big stake. It feels like a big stake because it's about as much SPS as I have on my account. I've got GLX, but realistically, it was all given to me for free, so I haven't put anything into the ecosystem. So I'm just letting it kind of compound, and so I'm not really tied into it. But yeah, I would say I am not super excited for GLX like I used to be. I don't think it's getting off to the right foot. But who knows? Maybe the game will be fun. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I'm interested to see how it goes and how it plays and stuff like that. And I always kind of hope for the best because you have, some kind of stake in there. So it'd be nice for it to blow up and do well. And I'd like to see the company do well and expand on other things and stuff like that. And that's kind of one of my things too, when they first announced this is, what happens if it fails? Because it's a shared community.
Yeah.
And we've already kind of seen blowback from things that happen in GLX can have blowback in Splinterlands from some kind of, from the community scandals wise, where people were upset in the Splinterlands community for things that happened in GLX.
Yeah.
So that was one of my concerns is what happens if it fails. But if it does well, that bodes well for the future of them being able to expand into other things and do more. So
yeah,
I'd like to see it succeed for the company, and I hope it's a fun game so I can, play it a little bit.
Yeah, and we can get into the other sports that we're actually excited about.
Yep.
Like baseball.
Exactly.
Let's do baseball. But yeah, no, I think I'm one of the things I'm most looking forward to GLX is like when they actually do the advertising and blah blah blah, and they start to like just bring in their own crowd, so it just doesn't feel like Splinterlands, like the same crowd just being in two areas. They're like, oh look, this is our other game, but like we're really still over here, right? Once they get their own support and their own like community and their own like life, like you can kick them out of the house and just like they're old enough to go live by themselves and provide and feed themselves. That's what I'm kind of most looking forward to, when I can just casually just look at GLX and be like, how you doing over there? All right, cool. Splinterlands is still doing great too. But yeah, so lots of exciting stuff here at the end of the month. Sounds like we're just gonna get it all right here at the end of March. It'll be boom, 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 and we're not gonna know what to do with it. It's gonna be a lot.
Yeah, what's interesting is I kind of look back at the end of December, and they kind of teased. They said, after the holidays and after everyone gets their vacation in, January is going to be a big month. And they hinted, if you listen to, I think it was the second to last or the last town hall of December of last year, they basically hinted that land was ready to go and we'd be surveying in end of January timeframe is what they were targeting. And here we are, mid-March, still waiting on the white paper, right? So, it just goes to set expectations. And tying this back to GLG, from what we saw of the town hall, not this last one, but the previous one of the game, which was just basically like logic of text-based logic of numbers and stuff, no actual game on the blockchain or any graphics around it or anything like that. I mean, it's got to be a possibility that a working game does not hit this MLS season. I mean, and if you're not thinking of that as a reality, then you're probably not being honest with yourself.
So knowing that that's a potential reality, do you even open packs?
No. Well, especially if pack staking rewards are going to exist.
Well, they're going to continue until, I thought it was until you could open packs.
Yeah, I mean, that's the other thing is, so, going back to Bulldog's point, there is not clarity. There is, if no one here with certainty, if you brought even the team on to this stream, they wouldn't be able to tell you what's going to happen with that particular, question. So no one knows. The problem that's going to happen is if they do allow opening of packs and the game gets delayed, right? Then it creates a big problem.
Mm-hmm.
Because then you've got cards for the first season that will never potentially be used. Potentially. I mean, they could still release, I guess, the game in the future, in the off season and, but then there's no tying to the players and the stats. It's just kind of like, whatever.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting. My concern would be is if they, similar to like today, when they sold the nodes and they figured that, the APRs are on, there's no real good solution. And that was really what my tweet was saying, to say, look, they could turn the rewards off and say, oops, our bad. And then just say, well, whatever GLX we gave out is, fair game. But then there'd be people that bought GLX nodes in the time between when the rewards came online and before they went to maintenance that were already in Discord getting a little agitated, saying, hey, I bought this node specifically because these rewards are here. You can't take them away.
Yeah, right.
Now you've got kind of that, you're not half pregnant anymore. You're pregnant and you got to deal with it now, right? So you can't let that. The thing with the opening of the packs, once they open the packs, then you can't put that genie back in the bottle. And hey, Damour, welcome.
Hello, guys.
What's up, Damour? Dude, how was your? So why? Go ahead, tell the audience why are you late.
So I was on the People's Guild podcast for my interview. Catch it sometime soon, I guess.
Tomorrow. Should be.
It should be up tomorrow. Yeah, I think so.
Tomorrow, hopefully in at least 12 hours or so, we'll hear the sweet, sweet voice of Damour talking all about his experiences and such. What'd you think of being on the show?
That was awesome. They're really nice guys. They like to. They take you down paths that you didn't think you would go, but pretty awesome.
Yeah. No, that's awesome, man. I'm glad you got to be on that show. It's a great show. It's a great show to be on. So shout out to the People's Guild. And if you're not subscribed to them, please, they're actually one of the only people that are doing an authentic audio podcast, Splinterlands specific. So go to your Apple, iTunes, Spotify, whatever, blah, 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 and search for the People's Guild because they are awesome.
They're on there.
But yeah,
You know, what I like about the People's Guild, and a shout out to B Jangles and Waskel, is, you know, their content is actually, you know, more entertaining to understand the people that they're interviewing and their backgrounds and their history and how they got to the game, and just like it's not even really about Splinterlands. It's more about the community. And like I like just learning about, you know, the personalities here, and I'm looking forward to more of your episode tomorrow. So
yeah, sweet. Yeah. So in terms of the white paper for the land, I'm confident that we're gonna have something, because, you know, they've, you know, for the most part, it's always been like this quarter, this quarter, this quarter. Then we got narrowed down to like this week. And for the first time ever, Aggie this morning said a specific day. So like we've narrowed it down to quarter, month, week, day. So I would say now that he's narrowed it to a day, we could be safe to assume it's sometime this week, right?
Is it the same day that the tower defense beta is going to be available?
Yes, only for Aggie though. He's the only one that's able to play it right now. Only one. But yeah, so hopefully on Friday we got something nice to read, because not like I need to be productive at work on Friday. I definitely need to be productive at work on Friday. So please release it after 5 p.m. Please, company.
Only what, 20 pages?
Oh God, I don't know how many pages it's gonna be. It's gonna be nuts. It's gonna be a deep read though, that's for sure. But yeah, anyway, Damour, I was actually it's about 1 or 10:40 my time. I need to be getting to bed here soon, so
it's time to say goodbye.
Yeah, I was about to kind of close her up. So, final thoughts from the panel tonight. Virus, let's start with you.
I hope everyone had some good rewards for the end of the season. I know I was happy with mine, but you know, good luck to everyone with the new energy and figuring that out, what their game plans are. It's gonna be fun this season.
Yeah, I'm yet to decide whether it's good for the bots or bad for the bots. I know people are saying it's bad for the bots, but I'm not convinced, right? The fact that, and here's my concern, is that difference between, so before they had the RP restrictions, they were earning less over time, right? The more they played. Now, when they have one energy available, they're going to be earning full. Even though they can supposedly do it less of the time, I'm not sure if, you know, how much extraction. The numbers will need to be looked at to see whether it's really a positive thing or a negative thing. But anyway, yeah, don't want to go too deep into that.
Yeah, Damour, if you wanted to talk about that, you should have been on time.
Indeed. I should have. You're right.
No, man. So yeah, Tails, final thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just piggyback on to Damour's thoughts there. I mean, what we know about the bot farms are, you know, they spend DEC when it's, you know, beneficial and conducive to do so. So they spend DEC to rent when they make money off the rents, and they'll do so on the energy as well if it makes sense. So
sounds about right to me. So I'm concerned. I'm honestly concerned that we're actually giving them more than what we had before, and I don't think that's a good move. That's a good move.
Yeah, I guess for me on the, you know, final thoughts, I'm fine. If they end up getting a little bit more, that's fine. If we can nip rating inflation in the butt. If the game can just be more competitive, period, by not letting one BCX bot spam 3,000 games, I'm fine with that. You know, that's been something that, in my opinion, has diluted the game quite a bit. And so, like, I'm fine paying the bots a little bit more if they can just tone the F down and, like, play a normal amount of battles. Like, chill out, bro. If you're 0% ECR, 3,000, but you're... Anyway, guys, thank you very much for coming out tonight. I thought I was going to have to do this by myself, but no, it was awesome. I was joined by Virus. Virus, I love having you, brother. I think this needs to be more regular. Need to pull you out of the text and put you on camera, because you did awesome, man.
Part of the stream team, bro. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah. And then Tails, as always, brother. I love that you're making rounds. I love that you're on. You've got your own, but you're jumping in on so many other channels as well to talk about this awesome game, man. We appreciate you stopping by here,
Thank you.
being a part of this. And Damour, I was second. Tonight.
I'm sorry, bro.
But no, I love you. I'm actually really looking forward to your podcast tomorrow. That's going to be awesome to hear. So anyway, that is going to be it for us tonight. Thank you for diving into the Splinterlands with us. Come by this weekend for the weekend challenge. We do the morning one with Damour, and we do the afternoon one with me, or evening. It's pretty evening. It's pretty late. But yeah, come by for those 2 tournaments on Saturday, and we will see you guys next time. GG, everyone.
Cheers, guys.